Hi there, it's Brendan Howe here with your TDCNet Tech Tip, giving you tips and tricks on how to use technology more effectively. Internet speed is a challenge for many businesses these days. Many companies are coming to us asking for solutions because their standard ADSL or Rogers cable internet connection just isn't fast enough anymore. There's too many applications that are hosted off-site. There's too much business that's being done on the internet now, and you need to look at your business at upgrading your internet speed to keep your staff productive and working well. So you do have other options, and I wanted to take a minute and explain the 6 different options that you have. Yes, there's 6 different options. Lots of stuff out there to solve your internet issues. Now, keep in mind, you should always have 2 internet connections coming into your office. You want to have that redundancy because you don't want to have a neighborhood outage of Bell, Rogers, and other carrier knock out your business and have your entire staff unproductive until your internet gets back up and working. You want to have that redundancy. Now, when you're looking at the 6 different options for internet, there's a couple things that you need to keep in mind. In terms of speed, you need to think about how important the speed is to you. If your email, other important applications are hosted off-site, are there regularly big video transfers or big data uploads on your network off-site? How many staff do you have? How much does internet speed affect the productivity in the office? And importantly, what's your phone system? Are you using a voice over IP, an IP phone system? Are you using video conferencing, anything like that? Now, internet speeds are measured in megabits per second. You will see this written as Mbps. The bigger that number is, the faster your internet connection is. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that as I go through the different options. So here are your 6 options. Option number 1, ADSL. This is your standard internet connection you might get from Bell or other carriers. It uses the unused portion of traditional phone lines. TDCNet's been providing ADSL lines for quite some time. Starts at 6 megabits per second download and 800K per second upload. Now we're finding for a lot of businesses this is just simply too slow. Once you get up over kind of 15, 20 employees, this sort of internet connection is getting a bit too slow. The reason so many people use it is pretty cheap, between $60 and $90 a month. Now, a newer and better option is what's called VDSL2. This is using phone lines, the unused portion of traditional phone lines, just like DSL connections are, but it's newer. It's a newer technology, and it's much faster. In fact, it's 4 times faster than a regular ADSL. Download connection is 10 times faster on the upload connection. So you can get up to 25 megabits per second download speed and 7 megabits per second upload speed, which usually works out to a cost of around $130 or $150 a month. Now, cable is something that many businesses use. If it's available in your building, where your office is, your neighborhood, that sort of thing, then cable's a decent option. It can be as fast as 12 megabits per second download and 2 megabits per second upload. And I know Rogers is coming out with some new products recently that have those speeds even faster. Usually the cost for a cable internet connection is between $50 and $170 a month. Depends on the speed you want, whether you need a static IP, which most businesses need, and a few other factors. Ethernet over cable, this is your next step up in terms of internet speed. You can get up to 10 megabits per second download and upload. So a faster internet connection on both sides. It usually costs around $400 to $600 a month. So it's a step up in speed, it's also a step up in price. If you're doing voice over IP, you're going to want to look at a connection in this sort of range. Now, the availability with Ethernet over cable is limited to those businesses that are in buildings that are serviced by Rogers Cable. In terms of the next option is something called fixed wireless. This is probably something that you may not have heard of this as much. It's a more specialized kind of internet connection to pockets of the GTA, which aren't serviced as well by traditional internet connections. The way it works is you actually have a physical antenna on the roof of your building. That antenna has to be able to see a bigger antenna far away through a line of sight connection. So this type of internet connection, fixed wireless, won't work if you're in a building that's surrounded by a bunch of other buildings. The other issue with this is it's not cheap. It can be between $400 and $1,000 a month, but you can get speeds of up to 100 megabits per second. And the pricing, like a lot of pricing with internet connections, is very dependent on your location and the type of service, the bandwidth that you need to use. So last but definitely not least is your Cadillac of internet connections. The best and most reliable type of internet connection is fiber. It's what we have in our office here to do our day-to-day business. Usually you'll get fiber internet lines 10 megabits per second upload and download speed, or 100 megabits per second upload and download speed. Those are your two usual options, but you can get faster, and sometimes people will opt to be a little bit slower than that. It's a little bit cheaper if you're in some parts of downtown Toronto where the buildings already have fiber running into them, or you're in some parts of Yonge Street where a provider will share a fiber connection between a bunch of different clients. Your cost in this case is usually between $1,000 and $2,000 a month, and as I said, depending on your location. Most businesses above 30 staff are using this sort of connection, especially if IP phones are in use. Now, one other internet option that's not appropriate for day-to-day internet use, but that's good for a backup connection, is 3G wireless. You can get 3G wireless internet. It's provided through the cell phone carriers. It's good. A lot of people will have, say, a VDSL2 connection or a cable connection and use this wireless connection just as a backup, just in case their internet goes down for a couple hours or something like that. It'll be a little bit slower, but it makes sure that your business keeps going and stays online. So there's your rundown of your different internet connections. As always, if you need more information, an explanation, some more advice on what to do with your internet connectivity, feel free to give us a call. I'm Brendan Howe, and that was your TDCNet Tech Tip, giving you tips and tricks on how to use technology more effectively. Have a great day.